Maybe I should tell you guys some jokes or something while we wait. I'll tell you a joke. So I'll tell you something that happened with one of my middle child. So one time I was working on my computer, and then he came. I think he was like 9 or 10 at the time. And he said, "Dad, I noticed that whenever you're occupied and you're busy, you always say that's interesting. Like whenever somebody talks to you, you say that's interesting." And I said, "That's interesting." And he said, "Just like that." "Yep." And then he walked away. And then I realized I wasn't paying attention when to what he was saying, and it just happened right there again. So whenever you hear me say that's interesting, that means I'm not paying attention. All right, I got your thing. I'm asking you to go live again. All right. So I was just connecting. All right. All right. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Sorry, I'm on parent standard time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that.
I did.
That's it. We're always 10 minutes late, right?
I know. I tried my very best.
That's really good. I'm so excited. Able to make it. I guess lesson learned is that before we jump in, right?
Yes, we do. We do now.
I think I'm muted. Let me reduce my volume. It's not like this echo thing.
Okay, everyone. So I'm already seeing some questions. There will be a Q&A towards the end, inshallah. So
yes, and if they have questions in the middle, they can write.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. This is like an open conversation, so we'll try to write them down and.
Yeah. My voice is echoing to you too?
Sounds fine to me.
Oh, okay, so it's my feedback now. All right, so I'll let you go ahead. Do you wanna take over?
Okay, I shall take over and let you guys know why I'm even on here talking about parenting, because I'm no parenting expert. Okay. Okay. I am a mom of 2 boys, Adam and Zakaria, and Adam, who's my eldest, turns 5 in September, inshallah. So I've only experienced about 5 years of it, and let me tell you, I feel like I've already aged 20 years.
Okay, somebody's saying that my voice is echoing. I have no idea. Is it? Does anybody know how to fix it?
Do you want to try to?
If I reduce the volume, you can't hear me though. Why is it?
I mean, I can hear it fine. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's going. Usually echo means it's coming back from other source, but I don't. That's really.
I wonder if it's because was this the case before I joined?
No, it was before you joined.
Oh, so it's me.
It's probably going to your channel.
Yeah.
And coming back and going again. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn your okay. I've just turned the volume down.
Okay. Let me turn mine down.
Can you guys hear us okay now? I see a thumbs up.
Okay, is that better? Okay. Oh yeah, I turned mine down. Too. But then I still hear my echo. Yeah, mine is very echoey. Okay, maybe you're right. Somebody said I can use a headset. Let me go get it. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Inshallah, we have some tech-savvy people here. So that way you don't hear. Oh, we're learning a lot of stuff today. Awesome.
We are.
Okay. So is my sound better now? I think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear my echo. Okay, cool. All right, so go ahead. Okay, so let's. You want to make dua or something?
يا بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let's start over.
Yes.
Okay, so I was just saying that I'm on here to talk about my journey as a parent so far in just the 5 years that I've been a mom. Everyone's journey is different, which is something I've come to learn throughout the years. Alhamdulillah, children are one of the greatest blessings, but they're also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions them in the Quran as a fitna. So they're a trial. Just like any other blessing in our life can also be a trial.
Sarah, one second.
Okay.
So they're saying you need headset.
You need headsets
too.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let me just go
Okay, cool.
take over.
Yes, I will. Thank you guys for letting us know. I can hear my echo. Yes. Yes, that's true. Okay, I'll tell you another joke. One time, my son came and said that we're having a get together at the school. Why don't you join us? It's a small one. I said, how small? He said, it's just me, you, and the principal. So I said, no, thank you. You can have your get together by yourself. So I'm sure there's a lot of jokes. All right, so what's your expectation, inshallah, today? You guys have kids? How many kids? How old? Oh, okay. Somebody said that it'd be hard because you're wearing hijab. I forgot. See, I don't know these the female challenges.
Are hiding underneath my hijab.
Oh, cool.
So I'm hoping this is better.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Yes. I think this is better. It has to be. If it's not, then.
Then we've tried our best.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Okay. It's better. I think it's better. It's not perfect, but you know what we can do? It's like, I don't know, man. It's better for sure. Okay, good. All right, go ahead.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Bismillah. So, am I starting over or are we? Okay. So what I was saying is that, alhamdulillah, kids are one of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatest blessings, but they're also mentioned in the Quran as a fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ fitna. And that's like any other blessing in our life. Money is a huge blessing, but it can also be a fitna. It can be a trial. It can be a test. And let me tell you, in 5 years, I don't even think I've hit the difficult years yet. But I can already see how, subhanAllah, they can be a trial. In many ways, which I think we'll go deeper into talking about as we talk. But alhamdulillah, before even having kids, a long time ago, I was always fascinated by children in general. I always felt like they brought us back to our fitrah because of how pure they are, because of how innocent they are. And as we age, we go through a lot, we meet lots of people, and I feel like we start to become very distant from our fitrah. And children are there, in my opinion, to remind us of that. They're extremely pure. The questions they ask are very pure. Their hearts are clean. You know, ours have been toxified by a lot of what we've experienced. So as much as we try to teach them, I am learning so much about myself and about the world through them. Through them. So my eldest, he likes to have a lot of like really deep conversations, and he hasn't even hit 5 yet. but he asks me questions that get me reflecting as well. So the one thing that's helped me so far is telling myself that I'm learning from them. They're teaching me about me. I found so much fault in myself after having them.
Welcome to the club.
Oh my God, subhanAllah. Yeah. But anyway, so parenting has always become, it was always one of these really passionate topics for me. I read a lot of books long before I even got married or became a parent. I was just fascinated by them. And I read a lot about parenting techniques and all these things that are out now. But let me tell you, subhanAllah, nothing, in my opinion, can prep you to what is to come and to being a parent.
You know.
And that's why everyone's experience is so different. And I feel like if we come together as a community, that's the only way for us to build that solid foundation that we're lacking. Because I learned more from people and from my own experience than from any book that was written by like an expert. Or obviously, alhamdulillah, they're experts and we take their expertise, but to a certain extent, because no one's with you living your life, doing what you do with your kids.
It's just I feel like it's like theory, right? It's all theory. Like it's just like the reality is very different than what is usually taught. Like it's always taught from this pedestal, like, oh, you know, here, this is what you need to do. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it's all gonna be great. And you're like, you can't even do one because it's like there's all these problems.
You can't do one because every child is so different. And once you can't do that one thing that you read, you feel like a failure instantly. Once you start feeling like a failure, that's your road to going downhill, because that's what happened to me. I hit a low where, oh my God, here's the mom that like always wanted to be the best parent. She wanted to give her kids the best. And here I am thinking I'm the worst mom that could ever live in life. I felt like my dreams were just crushed. And it was all because I had expectations of myself and of my kids that other people shared in a book or in a, you know, yes, reality is always different than expectations. It really is. But I think the way to deal with that from like what I've been through is to accept it first, and accept that we're also learning, and not to be too hard on ourselves, because I went through a point where I was just so, and this is only 5 years, Isham, so you can tell me more about what is yet to come, but this is only 5 years into it, and I feel like a complete, subhanAllah, I'm not going to say failure, because I'm going to learn to talk to myself better, because when I said that to myself, it didn't help me or the kids. So
I also feel like a failure. I mean, I have 3 boys. I mean, it seems like we're all the boys' families. The girls are going to be left out in this one. I have an 18-year-old, I have a 14-year-old, and I have a 5-year-old. And I unlike you, when I started out, I didn't read any books, nothing. I just jumped in. I was like, dude, I know how to do this. How hard can it be, right? And I just did what I saw around me growing up, people doing, and obviously, like, most of it was wrong. Top-down parenting, just, you know, being very forceful. Even though my parents were really great, you know, I remember my dad just he only spanked me like 3 times all my life, and I remember them very clearly. And I know why, and I deserved it, you know. So I love my dad, and my mom just always like shouted, and she never did anything, right? Like, she's like, I'm gonna break your neck, I'm gonna do this, and like you just like, you know, she will throw the ship, you know, across the room.
And the ship is the best.
Yeah. So I was just like dodge the slipper, and I'm all good to go. But I think what really destroyed my personality, or my just self-esteem, or whatever it is, I think it's the teachers, because I grew up in Sudan, and the teachers used to beat the crap out of us, you know, and that was really like just it kind of like really had an effect on me. So so starting out, I did a lot of wrong things, and you know, especially to the eldest, and you know, I wasn't like, it wasn't too bad. It was just not. It could have been a lot better. So, and then the second one is a little better, and then hopefully this last one, I'm getting. But I totally get you. I feel like a failure. Definitely, like you said. And it's not in a bad way. I mean, I just want to be better. Like, dude, our kids are good, man. You go out on the street and you just see like other kids, like, alhamdulillah, right? Like we're good, you know. But we want to be perfect. We want them to be amazing. We want them to be, you know, like just the right kids. We want to empower them to be to really change the world and all of that.
Yeah.
So but you're right. Like it makes you discover who you are, because at the end of the day. Yeah. They don't do what you say, they do what you do. You know what I mean? They end up doing what you do. And then if you're not doing the right thing, I mean, I watch my eldest or even my middle child, like the way they talk to my younger, right? The youngest one. And they talk to them the same way I talk to them, right? Like, even though they don't understand that the way I treated my 5, the way I treat my 5 is different than the way I treat my 14, is different than the way I treat my 18. But to them, it's all the same. So they're like talking to him the same way I'm talking to them. And I'm like, dude, it's not. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I need to just change. Like, I need to change. The problem's with me, right?
Yeah. So, they echo what you say. So Adam responds to me the same exact way I speak to him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I say to him, do not talk to me like that. But then I realize that he is talking to me the way I spoke to him. Just earlier today, I asked him to do something multiple times and it wasn't being done. So I said, Adam, put that away. And I said, لو سمحت, right? So he forgot what لو سمحت is please. He's like, only if you say please. And I just said, I did say please, but I said it بالعربية. And he was like, what did you say? So he was basically parenting me. said لو سمحت is please بالعربية. I did say please. So he's basically echoing everything that I say.
Muhammad, same thing. I told him, he said, that's not a way to talk to your mom. He said, and that's not a way to talk to your child.
Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. They are teaching us. And that's good. That's good. I need him to continue to do that because, and you know what, Yasham, I tried to be the perfect mom in the beginning. And then I realized how destructive that is.
Yeah.
Not just to me, but to them, because I'm not showing them that in human nature is to get upset. It is okay to get upset. And I had to just stop trying to be perfect. And whenever I messed up or raised my voice, I would say to him, I'm sorry. That's the important bit.
Right.
The wrong has already happened.
Right.
But I sat him down and I said, Mama wasn't supposed to raise her voice. I'm sorry. That's not the proper way to talk. But you apologize. That's teaching them how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
But prior to me going through all of that, every time I shouted, I just felt, oh my God, that's it. That's the end of it. My son is going to be ruined for life. No. Learn and let them be in that journey with you is what I...
No, like there's this, imagine this circle of like the ideal parent, right? Like, and it has all the stuff. I mean, it could be the prophetic way and the Quranic way and all of that. And then like, that's never going to be us. Like we're another circle that's overlapping this circle, right? And like the idea is to push, I mean, obviously the overlap is, for me, it's probably very small, you know, but then it's to push that overlap so that you're overlapping as much as you can. And it's just not realistic to think that, there's some people who are amazing parents. Like I've seen, like I have some role models, right? We all have, you know, those friends who are, mashallah, like, you never ever hear them like shout, not even once, not even like.
But make use of them, Ya Hisham. That's what I do now. I send my kids to my friend who I think is amazing, mashallah. And I let her, because that's what we're lacking. We're lacking the village. You know when they say it takes a village to raise a child? The pressure is all on just the parents, and that is just destructive as well. So I'm trying my best to create that village for myself, whether it's through social media or through my friend. We literally swap kids. Because for some reason, my kids are just great with her, and her kids are great with me.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So
Yeah, like I mean, look, I'm the most awesome guy, like with all other kids, you know, like except for my own, right? Like I'm really good. Like I'm like, you give me any kids, I could totally talk to them. But you know, my kids, like, you know, like I have the 70 things I learned. I
yeah,
started it for my kids, like because they are just.
yeah,
It got to the point where they're not interested on what I have to say.
yeah,
Because I'm their dad, right? I mean, they see me all the time. They don't want to hear my lectures. So I was like, you know
yeah,
what? I'm going to start this thing, and I'm going to just save these videos because I have all these thoughts and these ideas, and maybe one day when
yeah,
I'm not here,
yeah,
right, that's when they'll pay attention and they'll listen to these videos, right, and they'll change then, and they'll be interested then. I don't know. That's how it started. So I was like, okay, alhamdulillah, you know.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so let's start. Like, what is parenting, to you? What is it to you?
Um.
What
Okay, so
yeah, what does it mean to you? Like,
I
what's
think
the
the
purpose?
first word, yeah, I think the first word that comes to my mind when I think parenting is amana.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually the reason I feel very pressured, is because I know all they are is an amana.
Yeah.
They were entrusted to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gave them to me knowing that I can, inshallah, do this. He gave them to me knowing that you are capable of this, but I need to take care of that amana in the best way possible.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
And another thing is, subhanAllah, not only are we just entrusted with, they are our sadaqah jariyah. We know that once we pass away,
yeah,
all of our deeds are cut off, except from 3, which is sadaqah jariyah, beneficial knowledge, or a pious child that
right.
will make dua for you. And subhanAllah, you try your very best to be that to your parents. May Allah bless them with long and healthy lives. But you try to be that, and you want that of your children as well.
Right.
So this is where the pressure comes in. You want them to be righteous. You want them to be good. But I think at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I remember when I first started this whole, I focused so much on parenting. I think it was becoming a bit too much, but I let loose with a lot of things. But they were like, why are you so? I said, well, this is the foundation. I feel like if this is solid, then inshallah, I don't know what's yet to come, but you can fill me in on that. But a solid foundation is what will set me up for the future and what's to come. But then that's also an issue, because then where do you set that line between you want to befriend them, but you also want to be their parent?
Actually, one of my teachers, he said that kids are like a clay. You can shape them anywhere you want, any way you want. But then as soon as you put them in the oven of life, they're done. You can't change them anymore, and unless you break them.
Yeah.
So like you have those, especially those early 7 years, where research showed that the first 7 years are vital. Like, this is where they get most of their information, and they like after that you're changing moving a little right or left, but the stuff is already in there, right? Whatever has happened, and it becomes really difficult to change after that. Obviously, people can, after 7 years old, could go through traumas and stuff, and it'll still affect them. But but that first 7 is vital. Just a lot of love and stuff. But you're right. I mean, it is an amana. The Prophet said, "Kullukum ra'in, kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyatihi." Right? Like, in the Quran, Allah says, "Ya alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara." Right? Like, it is a huge responsibility. It's like you said, it's a trust that Allah gave us. It's a gift, and it's not our job to. It's not our. We don't know what's going to happen to them. We're not going to guide them. We're not going to guarantee them they're going to go to Jannah, or they're going to be successful in this life or the hereafter. But we're here to guide. Like, we're here to empower them
Yeah.
to be the utmost right people, and then whatever happens, you just accept, like it's okay. Like and this took me a while to get used to it, because you know, like when you get a little older, you start to question, like I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna, like, I just did what I can when I knew I did. Like one of my friends, his dad was really rough, and he said when he got older, he told his dad, he's like, you were really tough on me when I was growing up. And his dad said, you know, everything I did, everything I said, at the time I said it, I thought it was the best thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was so beautiful, because it just removes like the burden, like khalas, alhamdulillah, like, you know, I mean, I made mistakes, but it's like, it's what was, like, Allah, you know, there's so many things that happen up to this point until I made those decisions, and and that's what Allah willed, and alhamdulillah, like, and this is what you,
alhamdulillah,
right? Like it's okay. So you gotta accept too, like you gotta accept, like you said, some of your kids might end up being like your own, like you said, fitna, or like even like your enemy. Like it's possible, and they might completely go the opposite way, and you have to just say, you know what, this is Allah's gift. He could do whatever he wants to do with it, and I'm here to help and to do the best.
Just be there for them. And I think the one thing that we're given, and it's the most powerful, is dua. We've got that weapon. We've got dua. I can't tell you, you know, even with the simplest things, like even with something as simple as the first 5 years, obviously you're panicking because your kid's not eating, and oh my God, he's going to starve. And just a simple dua, subhanallah, I would make dua until, I tell my mom to make dua for everything. So I'd ask my mom to make dua for literally the next meal, he would just finish his meal. But that is because we tend to depend on ourselves rather than on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With everything. My son's a horrible sleeper. Ya Allah, please help him sleep through the night. Ya Allah, please give me an easy night. I need this sleep. I need this to function. And he will have an easy night. He will have an easy night because you have put all your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is able to take care of it. He knows what we are going through. And subhanallah, another example is, you know, I feel like with parenting, I kind of lost myself because I was so focused on giving, and I was never in that position before. I was always given love by my parents. I was always taken care of. I was never in a position to give that love and that care. And so once I had them, I was giving so much that it was becoming so exhausting physically and emotionally and mentally. At one point, I remember in sujood, I just wanted to pray in peace. That's all I want. I just wanted one salah just in peace. I was in sujood and both of them just jumped on top of me. And I just remembered, like, okay, I understand that the Rasulullah, he was able to deal with that. And he would just wait until they got up. But I, at that point, felt that, yalla, I just want to be in sujood in peace. And subhanallah, just at that point, I remembered, I was like, I'm going to shift my perspective. I'm going to say, رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. I was like, yalla, make this jumping on my back just a means for me to stay longer and make this dua so that when they're older, they're of the musallin. Ya Allah, because that would mean that all of this was worth it. I've accomplished my mission. Just that they're of the musallin, those who love salah, those who make sujood to Ya Rab. And I think it just takes a shift in perspective. And
no, dua for me is huge too. I again, was teenagers, I mean, I at one point I just gave up. Like it was so hard. I was feeling like I just completely failed. Like I was just like, you know what? I'm just a failure. Like this is like I apologize to them and everything too. Yeah. And then I just turned to Allah and I said, Ya Allah, man, like I just need like help. Like I give up. It's all you. Like it's just I am doing nothing. I'm just going to continue making dua, and then wallahi it worked. Wallahi, like you said, like yani, dua is unbelievable. My favorite dua is رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا, right? I make in the morning and in the evening beautiful du'as. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في ديني ودنياي وأهلي ومالي, right? So like these du'as like protect them, and then like you said, and I love what you said about the specifics, like the detail, like the little things. It's like, I want, you know, please make this guy successful in this, and make him do this, and I want him to do that, you know, and he, ya Allah, dua is unbelievable. It's amazing.
I couldn't have parented without it.
Yeah.
If there was no such thing as dua, I would have given up a very long time ago. And another beautiful practice that my friend taught me, barakallahu fiha, is, and I'm still practicing this. And she is, mashallah, one of the most patient people I know. She says she's not, but I see it. I see it in the toughest moments, and I see that patience.
Yeah.
But I also know that it's a learning process. But she said that whenever you feel like saying something to your child, like just stop it, or like don't do that, or she changed that to dua, and it was a practice. Allah yarda alayk, Allah yahdik, Allah, and mean it. Say it while meaning it. Don't just say Allah yahdik, you know. Just say Allah yahdik, Allah yarda alayk, you know. And subhanallah, that could be just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responding with it. And I see it, mashallah, her children, I've seen them grow in the past 5 years I've been around her. I see how they're growing and developing, and they're not all the easiest kids, but I see that through her, the way she deals with them, I see a huge difference.
Yeah. No, that makes, I mean.
Yeah, so I feel like dua is our weapon.
It is our first, just, you know, action. Like, I swear, like, it's just the first thing you should do is to run to Allah, and then you figure out, like, okay, is there anything else I'm done. Like, literally, I'm done. Now, is there anything else I can do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's a tying the camel part. We tie our camel and we put our trust, right?
Yeah.
It's the tying the camel part that's actually difficult.
Yeah, it is. That's so true. So then, like, what? So we've been talking about the challenges. Okay, I'm trying to see what else can we do here. So, like, for me, there is this idea that what you talked about, like, it starts with us, right? Yeah. And I feel like
definitely.
And I feel like we have to take care of ourselves. Like Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum, right? Like, anfusakum comes first. And I feel like a lot of times we just, especially moms, you know, I feel moms more. You're so into the kids and everything about them and all of that, and you forget yourself.
Yeah.
And like, I just, like, I don't know how to change that. You know what I mean? What do you think?
SubhanAllah.
I mean, we can help. We can help, obviously. Like, we need to step in, and we need to, you know, like help to give you space so you could, because look, if you're spiritually and mentally you're not there, like you said, like, to have that prayer, you want to have one prayer where you just, like, it's like a offloading, right?
Yep.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
That's why I felt the tension. It's because I couldn't offload when I needed to offload. Like, I needed to pour all that out, but even then I couldn't. But subhanallah, that led to a better pouring. It was just a change of perspective. And alhamdulillah, I know as fathers, alhamdulillah, you guys try so hard. I know, like, my husband, he'll tell me, go do this. I used to book 1 hour away just from the house just to be on my own. And I literally did nothing. I sat and I just read, or I did something that I wanted to do. But I feel like no one can help you but you.
Yeah.
I had to force myself to do certain things. And like you said, as moms, it's very difficult for us to do that. So even when I left them with their dad, I'd give him specific details. I let go of that as well. I was like, you know what? When they're with their dad, they can eat whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. He is responsible. He is in charge. I am not going to stress over the details. I had to let go of that because it was becoming too much. Why would I need to write a list to their father and say, oh, you need to do this at this? Why? I was like, let go of that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That does not matter. But it takes time to realize that. And even if I try to give that advice to a new mom, I find it very difficult to give advice to new parents because I was given advice. It meant nothing to me until I experienced it firsthand.
Right.
So, subhanAllah, I had to give myself that. And when I realized that I could not take care of them anymore in a proper way until I took care of myself, that's when things started to change. Like, I had a vision in my head of me being the homeschooling mom that gave everything to her kids, who was with them 24/7, who did basically everything, painted and let's play with Play-Doh, that was not reality.
It's not reality, yeah.
It's not reality. And I realized that's amazing. If you're able to do that, alhamdulillah, that is amazing. And my closest friend here is a homeschooling mom, and that works out for her and her family. But I was at everyone's life circumstances are so different. The things that you're going through as a family are very different than what they're going through. And I tried to force this idea in my head of me wanting to be this kind of mom, and that put me down rather than lift me up. And so I changed that. And 5 years later, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to go back to work. Let's see what this does to my mental state. And I did that. And Hisham, let me tell you, the hours that I spend with the kids are more precious than the entire day. It had more quality. I came back, I hugged them, I wanted to be with them, I spent like a lot of time with them. But that's what I needed. It's not what works for everyone. Some moms are rocking the whole homeschooling thing. That's amazing. I admire them. It wasn't for me, but I tried to make it for me, and that failed because it just wasn't right for me. So don't set expectations for yourself that you know deep down are not for you.
Right.
And لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. You know, and Allah knows what you are capable of. Like, in my head, people thought, how are you going to work and take care of the kids and take care of the house? SubhanAllah, my life became more organized because I chose to spend I spent 3 days out of the house just speaking to grown-ups, having proper conversations, and coming back refreshed and ready to give back. And SubhanAllah, I'm not more tired. I was exhausted. I was at home. There was so much tension that just needed to be released.
No, same thing happened with Azza. Same thing. A few years, then she got a job as a teacher, and she was like, look, you know what? I need this. This is my tension release. Like, I have to. And she's like, look, I'm responsible for whatever I'm responsible for. I have no problem, but I need. So I was like, all right, whatever makes you happy. I'm cool. You know, like that's so important. Yeah. It's
so important. Do what works for you and your family. And that leads me as well to another thought of judgment in our community, judgment within our community. You feel like everything that you're doing is being judged one way or another. But I think it's really important for us to understand that we're all struggling. No one's 100% happy, and that's not the point of this dunya, really. That's not the point of all of this. And with social media now and everything that's been posted on Instagram, like, it just looks like we're the perfect happy family, but that's not the case. Everyone goes through struggles. This dunya is a place of struggle. This is not our home. We are thriving to reach that end goal. That's all it is. It's just part of the journey, and we're just trying our best to be something we've never been before. We've never been parents, I'm learning, you're learning. Just be there for each other as a family. Bring that village back. Like, I'm very, very big on this whole village concept, because I never thought, why does it take a village to raise a child? Like, why? It's because we need the wisdom of our elders. We need the care of like the neighbors. This is one thing I worked on a lot. Our neighbors they're all like non-Muslim, but I still made it a point. I wanted the kids to have that. And subhanAllah, just last summer, we've got elderly neighbors. They're very old, and but we made it a point to just be around them and make sure the kids knew that this is a safe space, because I feel like even that doesn't exist anymore. The way our lifestyles are, they're so different. Just last summer, subhanAllah, I had parked the car and brought Adam in, and I had Zakaria, and Zakaria was younger, and I was just struggling, and my neighbor was gardening in her front garden, and she said to me, she's like, oh, why don't you bring Adam over? She saw that I was struggling. Bring Adam over and let him do some gardening with me. the mom I am, I probably have to think 20 times before sending my kid to someone else's house. And then I forced myself and I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is my neighbor who I've been to before. I'm going to send Adam there. He's going to learn and he's going to spend time with that elderly lady. And he's going to learn so much more with her in that 30 minutes that he's going to be with her than he will in the 30 minutes that he's with me, where I'm struggling with Zakaria and just not having time for Adam. But that is the village.
Right.
It's the absence of those people and knowing that your kids are safe there while you can take care of your younger one and yourself. That's lacking.
Yeah.
And I think we need to bring that back. I don't know if it's possible because of how our world is right now.
Yeah.
But we need to try to bring that back.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Somebody was asking, what is the village concept? The village is just basically, it's a community coming together and doing it together instead of just doing it by yourself. Basically.
Yeah.
So you know, like with kids, you could literally, we could teach them anything we want. We can make them whatever. I mean, some kids make it a priority. Culture is the highest priority, or you know, some kids like the food, like you have to eat halal food. That's the most important thing. Or like sports, or like you know, they have to be memorizer of the Quran or whatever. So, in your opinion, what is the highest priority? Because we can't do it all, like we said, right? We
can't.
Yeah, so we have to pick and choose. What is the most important thing that we need to teach our kids, in your opinion?
I'm going to say this, but this is only my opinion and what I want out of my kids. But again, everyone's different. And that difference is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because if you raise someone who's a lover of the Quran and I raise someone who is loving of just taking care of our elders or taking care, that way we build a community of good people, inshallah, for future generations. Right. That's why our focus is different. My thing is I always remember, subhanAllah, and this is something I try to work on myself, and it's something I want to instill in the kids, is إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
So I think from that, obviously I can't ensure that he's going to have a clean heart because we all have ill hearts in one way or another. We all struggle with something. But it's one thing I'm trying to achieve, and if I feel like if I raise a child who kindness is like really big. I just want them to be kind. I see all the bullying that happens in school now. I see all of that, and I don't want them to be that to anyone else. And I feel the root is here. It's our qalb. And if that's salim, if that's sound, then everything else, inshallah, will be sound.
That's beautiful.
So I understand the importance of teaching them salah, of teaching them giving, but that comes through our example. We do that. But that's just the basics.
They'll watch us pray, right? Yeah.
They will watch us pray. And that's why it hurts me so much when I'm not nice to my kids. And that's where I struggled the most. That's what really hurt me, is I want them to be this, but I am not this myself. And that's when I realized I'm going to work on me, and then it'll just happen. It'll happen through me. But everything else, whether it's reading the Quran, whether it's praying, they're seeing your example.
Yeah.
But it's that kindness bit that I feel I want to do extra of. That's what I want to work hard on, because I feel like that takes a lot of work. SubhanAllah.
It does, yeah. Anything internal is it's like infinite. Like you can never stop. It's so hard.
It's very, I started with, let me tell you, this is actually quite funny because I started with along with the home, so I want to become a homeschooling. My parents found this really funny because I spoke to Adam and Zakaria in Fusha. It's something that my husband and I wanted to, my husband is not of Arab origin, he's Pakistani. And Arabic is not his first language. So we wanted to make it a point, we wanted them to understand the Quran. And we thought the best way to do that is to speak to them in Fusha. It's like a cartoon. You'll be watching a cartoon at home. My parents are still not used to it. Mama will still say things like, "Ya biti, I don't understand." And when he comes asking for something in Fusha. But even that was putting pressure on myself.
Like I was trying to just fusha everything to the point where I was losing it. And I thought, do you know what? Relax. Just relax. He will, inshallah, understand the Quran through your actions.
Yeah.
You know, you need to embody the Quran rather than try to speak it because that is what matters. Like,
Actually, we have a family.
alhamdulillah.
We have a family here that speaks Fusha at home. But they're all Arabs. The whole family.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. Like, it's just the culture they built. It's like, it's so fun to watch, but it's hard. We can't even speak Arabic at home, man. We're like the other extreme. The other extreme.
Yes. No, I speak now. Now it's funny because I'll speak to Adam in Fusha and they both understand it, alhamdulillah, which I feel, I'm just telling myself this is a huge blessing that they can understand it, but the response is always in English or like Mama, I need to go to the hammam, you know, it's just, or, you know, I was like, okay, we're getting there, or Mama, I want to eat tufaha. I was like, okay, just say, أريد أن أكل تفاحة, please, just so I feel like I've accomplished something in my day.
That's
no, I am not an amazing mom. You obviously missed the first part where I shout and I do everything that you do. We're all in this together.
It's true. For me, I think the priority changed over the years. When I started out, something that I'm happy with, alhamdulillah, that I've been doing in the last 5 years is I take them to Fajr and Isha at the masjid, and it's became that it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, it's hard enough to wake up to go to Fajr by yourself.
Yeah.
Imagine now you have to wake up half an hour earlier, and then just sit there and wake them up forever until they wake up, and then they're like ready, and then we go, and then we pray, and we come back, and I was inspired by a family. I used to go to their Fajr and I'll see like the kids, like this family that would come and there was kids, and I was like, man, I wish that's me. So I started making dua, and I started like just slowly, and Allah just like He put barakah, and subhanAllah, that guy who inspired me, like he stopped doing it, and he inspired me, and we've done it for a while, and like subhanAllah, not only it's amazing. And I'm sure, like, if they go somewhere, like, maybe they won't go to pray in the masjid, or they might not, you know, I don't know if they'll wake up or not, but, like, at least, like, when they're, like, 25, or it's going to be a memory that's there, that's just, they're going to, like, eventually they're going to come back to it, even if it's, like, just a habit right now. But the beautiful thing is that what I discovered is not necessarily the prayer itself. It's the time we spend together every morning and every evening. We're getting in the car, we're going there, we're together, like we're having a conversation in the car, or they're watching me do the azkar, whatever it is, right? Like, like it just added to it, you know. And we sometimes we stop by 7-Eleven and get some drinks or ice cream, right? Or like, so it became a culture that I really, really love. But the most important thing, and I learned, and it's the highest priority from my early years of making a lot of mistakes until today, I'm making mistakes, is self-esteem. You know, I've taught Sunday school for 15 years, and like the one thing, like my last Sunday school, which was amazing, is called Reflection Sunday School. It's run by Stardana and Amjad. Amazing, like just like the best. And she made us evaluate the kids on 4 criteria. The first criteria was self-esteem, and then all the Qs. So the IQ, EQ, and SQ. So we evaluated them on emotional intelligence and how did they deal with the people around them, how did they talk to, you know, deal with socially with people, and then the self-esteem was just the internal. It's like EQ but internal EQ, right? How do you value yourself? How do you see yourself? And then the intelligence is what's their intelligence is, you know, logical, mathematical, musical, whatever it is. And then finally the spiritual intelligence, which was the most important. And that made me realize, like, self-esteem is key. It's like the mother of everything. Like even like the Prophet said, I'm like, you know, it's like Allahumma izz al-Islam bihad al-umarain, right? Why he wants the ahad al-umarain? Like what's unique like خيركم في الجاهلية خيركم في الإسلام. Like what's unique about the Umarain that the Prophet wanted them to be a Muslim is because their self-esteem was so high, their confidence and their
SubhanAllah.
so like
Yes.
if you teach them that, I feel like they will, it doesn't matter what they learn in Islam, like whatever it is, they'll be so confident and it'll just be huge. As compared to like you teach them something and then they end up with low self-esteem, then it can go away in a second. You know what I mean? Like it could just disappear. And anyway, so that was one of the things that I totally.
That's amazing.
Yeah. All right, so now my next question to you is, so what do you have any parenting philosophy that you're following? Obviously, there's so many parenting schools out